All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is it.
This is it.
This is it. The finale. You know what, Frank? I even had a hard time sleeping last night. I think I woke up like 3 times. I was like,
Yeah,
is it time yet? Is it time yet?
I woke up at 7 this morning and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not getting 30 more minutes of sleep. So,
Oh my goodness. Here we go. 369 and a half points for Max
could you bel
Verstappen and
could you
Lewis Hamilton.
believe the entire season comes down to just this?
At this point, yes, I can believe that. It's been kind of crazy here in our
Oh
inaugural
my
Formula One
God.
year. We are in the Emirates in Abu Dhabi at Yas Marina, where there are actually boats. I didn't actually realize. I thought they would just
Yes.
call it Yas Marina just
This is the
because.
quote unquote Monaco of
Yes,
the
that's what
Middle
we
East,
talked
I
about
think.
at
I think
dinner
that's kind
last
of the
night.
idea.
Yeah. Although I was wondering if like everything else is man-made, do the boats actually work, or are they just there?
That's a great question. We'll see. We'll have to see. Maybe Kimmy's got his boat and he does what he did in Monaco. If he crashes out, he'll just hop on
He'll
and
just
go
hop
onto
on
his
his.
boat there. And yeah, this is actually very interesting. They're going through the track now. This is actually a very different track than I actually was going through the Sims. I would actually have to say this track is much easier and a lot better to go through. The changes they implemented are a lot easier, and it's also making it much faster course. It is going to be more difficult to pass on, but it should be very interesting. I was very confused when I was doing this track, and then I saw qualifying. I'm like, that is not the left-hander that I was doing. So it's definitely not updated in the sim, but this track is high speed excitement, and it should be awesome to be able to see here. The biggest thing that is going on that we have to talk about is Max starting on softs, Lewis on the mediums.
Indeed, perhaps not by choice, although you can't really admit that. So Horner and Team Red Bull are just like, yeah, we got the soft tires, we're gonna go, I gotta go for it.
Yeah, it was
Uh,
kind of weird. Hamilton was like, "No, they did it on purpose," and then Horner and them were like, "No, we actually like totally wanted to be on mediums." But to
yes.
each their own.
So the one to look at is the restart. I think the second restart from last week, where Max was on medium tires, Lewis was on hard tires, got a better start off the line. Actually went from third to first, and so he was able to sort of beat Lewis, who was in second there. Now he's going to start first, 169 meters to that first turn. We know the starts from Lewis have been very, very good, but the start on the soft tires should give Max an advantage. What we have to see is whether or not they hold up over the course of the circuit to make it into the pits for that first stop. 19 cars on the grid. There is no Mazepin today. I actually don't know what happened.
Oh, Mazepin's not racing because he tested positive, so that's one less
There you go.
car on the track. Kind
One
of
less car on the track.
unfortunate there for Mazepin. Probably
Yeah,
would have wanted to race at least the last race,
do
even
a
though he
final race.
typically
Yeah.
ends up in last. It is still fun to go drive the car.
Now,
Well, maybe not the Haas, but
the other question is what happens with Lando Norris in third, who is a
yeah.
bit of
So
a
it was
wild
actually
card here.
it was actually really interesting. He was interviewed after the race, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really know what to do because do I just like stand back and watch? Do I dive in? Do I take it for myself?" So I think it should be pretty interesting. He did say if he has the opportunity, he's going to go for it, and he totally should. Why not? Um, then again, I don't think Lando wants to get involved actually, and nudging anybody off the track or anything like that. But it should be kind of interesting to see what he does there, as the McLaren's actually been doing extremely well. And then also just think Perez is still also just on the second row, so it's not like he's that much further behind as well. He can easily be involved on the track and involved within this battle here. And he's also on the soft, so he's going to have a pretty good hot start. Remember, I'm pretty sure everybody that has started this race on pole has won the race besides
Yes, for the
it
last
was
6 years.
two or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and actually, Max started on pole last year and it's essentially won it there too. I actually think well, Lando Norris was interviewed before the race and he sort of said the same thing. But I actually think Perez in fourth, you're going to see him move up to third very quickly, and we're going to have a Hamilton sandwich here, which is going to be,
Yeah,
attending a spot for
and this is
Mercedes.
also something I wanted to talk about yesterday because they did it in qualifying, and I thought this was actually kind of interesting because I thought it was so the idea of what they did yesterday in qualifying was basically slingshotting Max to be able to get a faster time.
Yep.
And what I was thinking is like, is that actually like okay? Because does that really like actually show that the car is so much faster that the driver is
Right,
actually
right.
driving the car to that speed? And honestly, I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I'm totally okay with it. Like at the end of the day, this is sort of a team sport. So like if you have good teamwork, then the hell with it. Why not? Right? Like help your driver and then your other driver also ends up in fourth. And those are definitely some nice yachts.
Those are some nice
My
yachts. Those
God,
look
those
like
are
real yachts. Those
pretty
look like real
big.
ones.
Those are bigger than the ones in Monaco, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Paolo,
nothing's
buongiorno. Good morning. Good
Yes,
morning.
good morning. So I thought that was very interesting. So the true race pace is it's not really defined off of Q3 because Verstappen really kind of was slingshotted into that by Checo. So
Yeah.
I actually think Lewis and Max are a lot closer than we think. It's going to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah. I don't know
absolutely
if it's the four
terrifying.
tenths gap or whatever or it was. Also, Mealy, good morning. By the way, I know you're watching there. Uh, the that hotel looks like a fantastic spot. By the way, it's kind of like that apartment in Monaco. It's like right on the corner of those, or the one in the balcony where you could like have your brunch while they're racing.
Yes,
But all right,
exactly.
Frank, before you take this away, Team Max, Team Lewis.
All right, I personally am Team Max, but I think Lewis wins.
Oh, that's the biggest hedge in history.
I know. I think Lewis wins. I think he has the experience. I think Max is going to do something that he shouldn't do, and he's going to lose the race.
Lot of different possibilities here. All Max has to do is finish in front of Hamilton, no matter where that is. He doesn't even need to win the race. He just needs to finish one position ahead. Or they may not even finish the race. If neither of the two finish, Max wins due to more wins. 9 wins on the season, 8 wins for Lewis. All right. I'm going to say Max takes it. So there you go. I'm going to
I
say
would say
Max
the
takes it.
one thing I'd rather just not to see is have anything decided by the stewards. So
That's true.
that's the only thing I'm like rooting not for. I'd really like to see a clean race. I know everybody jokes about like, oh, like he could just hit him off the track. It's not really anything we like want to
It's
see.
happened before.
Yeah, but it is. And then here we go for the last race of the 2021 season. We have lights out and we're off here. It looks like Loris is a really good. He's going on the inside. Actually, Lewis has a better go off in the turn, and Lewis is going to be actually going to first place. He's going to have it, and then Checo's going to be second. Loris went off of the track. You're going to have both of the Red Bulls behind the Mercedes, and then Valtteri Bottas is also going to be fighting for fifth and sixth, and both of the Mercedes are going to be fifth and or 5 and 6, and you're going to have Lewis first, Max second, Checo third. And then both of the Ferraris right neck and neck as usual, right next to each other on the track. And you have the AlphaTauri of Sonoda trying to get in front of them as well. But you're going to have the best start Lewis could have basically ever asked for.
What a cracking start here by Lewis Hamilton. That even on the medium compound tires, he just took off.
And then Max is going to go on the inside of the touch, and they touch, and he actually hits Lewis off the track, and he ends up taking the position, and he goes back, and he forces Lewis off the track, but then Lewis ends up just taking the position anyway, so then Lewis is still going to be in first, and that's something that
that's
sure
going to be an interesting one.
That's going to be a. And then Verstappen's basically saying that he's going to have to give him the place back. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't really. I need to see a replay to have like a total analysis.
Yeah, I don't know. Elbows out though.
I saw him go inside. I don't know who was leading into the corner or anything like that. But that was. Yeah, that was crazy. We're already up to absolute insanity.
It's already insane. We've already had contact on the first lap, and they're still both racing. Doesn't look like any damage, though.
Here's Hamilton radio. He's saying he was pushed off.
Yeah, well, he's always going to say he's been. Hamilton has been saying that Max is pushing him on track since Silverstone when Lewis put him in the wall. I mean,
well, Max has been pushing him off the track. It's we just need to see exactly sort of what happened again because I'm not sure if this was another situation where Max just lays on the brakes and then lunges into it and then because he's technically not actually in front on the corner there when he does that. So I'm not sure if Lewis was actually prone to having the space there. So this should be interesting to be able to see a replay of anything. And
The rest of the grid is sort of shaking out here as well. We said that Perez could move up into third. He did. Sainz is in fourth with Norris in fifth, followed by Leclerc, Sonoda, Bottas down in eighth,
And
Ocon
here's
in
going to be the
ninth.
replay going to the turn. Yeah. Yeah, he can't do that. I'm pretty
Interesting.
sure that's the same thing that we saw last week. Because that's a situation where Max. Yeah, well, we have to.
But yeah, that's what Brundle just said, is that Verstappen's on the racing line.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I guess they're going to say no investigation necessary, and they're just going to let them race. So they're not even
No,
going to give the
I love it.
position
I love
back or
it.
anything
Finally,
like that.
finally,
Which
finally.
so Lewis won't even have to give the place back or anything like that, and they're just going to be able to keep going. So that's going to how it's going to go, which is fair. But it's just crazy.
Fastest lap at a 128.791. The qualifying laps were down in the 122s. So the race pace, probably we're going to see that drop into like 126, 125 would be my
Here's
guess.
FIA radio. All the advantage was given back before the first lap. I'm not sure how that.
I'm not sure how that works.
I, I'm not sure how that. I'm not sure how you equate that. I, I,
Crazy. All right. Well,
yeah. Here's Verstappen. It, yeah, so I believe it or not, this is kind of one of the situations where I try to lean on the other Sky commentators and Martin Brundle as they have more experience. And typically Brundle takes the side of Lewis, which
yeah,
makes
but
sense. I mean,
he's
they're both British, but he's actually been pretty impartial on this one, which is like he actually says it was pretty fair of what Max did. I have like I said, when you look at all these situations, you have to literally watch it and sit there in slow mo and see if it's like okay, because you have to actually see when they enter the braking zone, and then if Max doesn't brake late just to be able to take the racing line and take it. The one difference with this one versus like the other ones in Brazil is that Max actually didn't like go so far off of the track that it like pushes him like he actually stays within there. But that was an incredible get off there by Lewis. It was absolutely insane. Then he had that slight lock up, and then I'm not really sure what happened to Lando. I think he just had to go wide there on that turn. And it'd be interesting to be able to, if they keep showing this replay, or no, this is just the get off of the go. But this is an incredible start there from Lewis.
yeah, really strong start here.
Yeah, 10th
Tenth
of
a
a
second.
second
Wow.
start right there.
They're even
I
from
don't
that
know.
shot.
He's in the track. It's very.
I mean, you could Red Bull could still ask for review after the race.
Yeah, but you could. Yeah, but it's not. Nothing's gonna happen. They're not gonna let it be decided like that or anything like that. Up until this point, now it's up to Max can be able to catch him.
Yeah, and 2 second advantage plus the tire advantage. So the pit stops are going to have to be pit stop strategy here going to be absolutely critical.
Yeah, and here DRS is enabled, and we're going to be able to see. I think Sonoda's trying to be able to track down Leclerc, and we should see some passing here in the middle of the pack.
Although Norris and Leclerc had passed Norris for a second there and then gave the position back, or Norris just took it back.
And then this is probably the most fascinating view that
Yeah,
they've
this
been
is the
able to
helmet
give us
cam.
is the helmet cam. I think this is Charles too. He's been wearing it. And I think Alonso was wearing it too. It's probably one of the more terrifying, absolutely sickening views and sometimes nauseating views you could ever have. Understanding like what could actually happen. Here's Horner. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine with the steward saying there's no investigation, but they can't say that the advantage was like given back.
No,
Because
no,
like
there's no way because
that like didn't actually happen.
they were even going into that.
Even
So
even like whatever you like want to like say or like come up with, like you just shouldn't have said that. Like if you left that part out, then it would be fine. If you were just like, and then here's going to be both Aston. Wait, yeah, both Aston Martins. I was very confused. This is
yeah,
actually pretty much the same move, Stroll um and Vettel.
right, which is how the move should have played out.
Yeah, but Max isn't as like close. Like Lance is a little further. It's less lungy, but I it is very similar. Here's FIA and Rebel. I mean, this is gonna go on all day. I don't understand the lasting advantage part. Should just stop saying that. Just doesn't it that like that part doesn't make
Interesting. So the
sense.
stewards
Should
actually
just
reviewed it. Hmm. Interesting. I would have thought I thought sort of Massey would have like was trying to handle that the way they did last week, where they didn't
yeah.
refer to the stewards and
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying with Nico here. He's just like, it's interesting to hear what all the other drivers have to say. And then the gap to Lewis is increasing to 2.1, 2.2 seconds.
yeah, I'm trying to just look at the lap splits here. They're Verstappen's only about a tenth off on that last lap. 128 and a half is what Lewis put in there, and 128.6 is kind of where Verstappen's at. So even though Verstappen has the soft tires, he is not going faster. Um, be curious to see if there's an early pit stop by Red Bull here to try to go onto the hard and just one stop this thing. It is 58 laps.
Yeah, they
Uh,
are. I mean, at this point, if you're Red Bull, you have to kind of move on, try to understand how you can kind of catch Lewis here, because at this point, it's the
yeah,
next part of the race, right? You
but
need to kind of
that's
refocus
proven
and
to be
shift onto the next thing.
proven
And
to be
this is
very
going to be
difficult.
probably a lot more advantage back or to Lewis here, because I think Lewis is even faster on the mediums than the softs here to begin with. So the advantage that was supposed to happen never actually matriculated here for Red Bull. And then here eventually is the Ferraris and the McLarens, which are 10 seconds off of the front three.
Yeah, so I guess what becomes, what do you do if you're Red Bull? You kind of have to throw a bit of a flyer at this because uh, Hamilton and Mercedes are just too strong here. We have essentially two large straightaways. You got the one in you got the start finish straight right down into turn one, then
It's
you have the
Verstappen
the
radio.
giant back one between 5 and 6.
saying his rears are starting to struggle, which is not the greatest thing he could possibly have.
Yeah, so you got these two long straightaways, and you have it's not like you can recreate the slipstream toe here with between these two. Interesting what Brundle was saying there, yeah. They basically have to stick with this until they can get enough of a gap to actually make pit stops without having to come back into traffic.
Yeah, because then if you're gonna get into the actual pit stop and then end up, and then here's, I guess, a slow mo of the rear tires.
It's a lot of rubber going down there.
Doesn't actually seem that bad.
No, it doesn't seem that bad, even in slow motion. But 15 laps there is what it's been saying. They've gone 12, so now remember the medium. They have an offset medium tire, right? Because of that flat spot on the that Max had. So I don't
Yeah,
actually
so
know.
I think they actually, I think they have other sets of mediums that they can go on. I don't think they would actually ever use those mediums, right? Because I
Yeah, I
think they
think
have
they
three
gotta
different
mix and
sets.
match.
Yeah, I think those. It wasn't. I didn't look into it, but I'm pretty sure you can also go to the FIA and be like, "This is like bald spotted too hard. Like we
Yeah.
can actually rotate in a different tire for it to make sense and for it to be better."
Yeah, yeah. For reliability reasons, you could swap them out. Yeah. Um, we don't expect as much carnage on the track as we did last week, I suppose.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not anything like Jeddah. This is definitely more of a spaced out track. I would say.
Yeah. All 19 starters might actually. Will probably finish.
Yeah, there's actually space to like go off here.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
You're not in a caged arena. And that's a quite a beautiful picture of the
The
marina.
afternoon there.
Yeah,
Uh,
late
late
afternoon.
afternoon. That hotel is pretty sick, actually.
Oh, that is a hotel?
That is a hotel. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, wow, there's a huge Ferrari thing. What is
Over there.
that's cool. Yeah, interesting. This is the max start here, which is off a 10th off.
He also tries to go left, which
Well, he was definitely trying.
to cover. It looks clean,
It, it doesn't look as bad as the other ones, I'll
and there
tell
was
you that
actually no
much.
contact.
Yeah, it doesn't look as bad as the other ones. It's definitely not as I mean, like if you're gonna compare it to like Brazil or like what happened to Jeddah and everything, like that part I definitely don't agree with. Like it's definitely not as bad. Like there was definitely room, and the difference on the other ones is like he actually, oh, they're building a Ferrari theme park. There we go. For
Uh,
Formula Rossa. Thank you, Derek. Um, I don't actually think the other ones are to the point where he like lunges so bad that it actually like he's off of the track and out of control and he's
right.
actually off of the racing line. This time Max isn't actually off of the racing line and he's actually completely within the track and and that's the kind of difference here for me. I just don't understand I don't understand how like you got all the advantage back. Like it just doesn't make sense. But you have to say it's like pretty clever and like it's pretty clever from Lewis and Mercedes because ultimately you know if you're Mercedes and you take first and you take it off the lead, you know Max is going to lunge. So whatever Max does, avoid the contact, don't and then just call him aggressive. And the FIA throughout like the whole week are just going to be like, okay, no, we're not going to get involved. So Lewis here, keep first and keep racing, right? Like it makes sense. It's pretty smart. Like they played into the hand of him being aggressive, which makes sense.
About 5 seconds now, the gap, as the gap continues to open here on these medium tires. I gotta go maybe another 2 laps, and then let's see. The gap back to science is only about 12. It's not enough. It's only about 15 seconds, so you wouldn't actually be able to get a pit stop in.
Yeah, he's not going to. The idea is that the leaders sort of have to bridge the gap between the everybody after Checo, but they don't want to get caught in that
Yep,
disaster. Lewis could pit. He doesn't get caught in it, but Max
right.
may.
But Lewis doesn't need to pit. He'll probably go to lap 20, 22, probably.
Yeah, it seems like the softs in general, just across the entire grid, are struggling, and it's not going to be able to go enough. So it may be a two pit stop strategy for Red Bull and the other cars, or they put on hards and they go long. But it's going to be pretty interesting because I think Mercedes and the other ones that started on mediums won't need to do that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go long, for sure. You wouldn't. You're just not gonna make like if you stop twice, you can't make up 20 seconds. There's no way.
Is Norris radio? Well, that's pretty difficult to drive the car if you're losing gears, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the early pit stop from Red Bull here,
Yep.
and it is going on to the hard. So looks like they did exactly what I said.
Yep.
Nice. Called it.
Yep. That is Verstappen into
And
the
let's see
pits
how
first.
fast this pit stop is. This needs to be a very quick one. It cannot be slow. That was a pretty good one. No timer yet exactly on the two
It was too
seconds, three
fast. It
seconds,
was too
2.1. It
fast.
was a pretty good pit stop right there. And it's going to be interesting to see where he actually ends up. He's going to end up being behind Signs, and then I think he's going to actually end up being behind Norris and Leclerc as well. But I think both of them are going to start pitting soon, and he's going to be meeting and then somebody just went completely off the track. I think
Oh, that was
Leclerc did,
Leclerc.
and then he's going to try to rejoin the track, and then Sonoda is going to be in front of him, and then oh Jesus, the lockup of the century there from Leclerc on his left inside when he was battling there with Sonoda. So that was pretty interesting. At least that was some excitement. Here, Max is just going to get ahead of Lando Norris here, and then Leclerc is going to make the move here on Sonoda, or Sonoda's going to actually try to hold them off here. They're going to go wheel to wheel, right? Both going into the corner. This is actually really nice, good racing. Lewis is boxing as well, and then Leclerc's going to try to make the move again. Sonoda's going to go on the outside. Leclerc's going to take the inside. Has DRS, should be able to get him here.
All right, so the gap was 5.5 seconds. That was the gap between Lewis and Verstappen, right? When we went into the pits, basically Hamilton and Verstappen both went the same distance on that first set of tires. A good pit stop here for Mercedes at 2.4. Let's see when Hamilton rejoins the circuit and what the gap is there. Perez staying out on track. I actually think Leclerc got kind of caught off guard when
Yeah, I
Verstappen
think that's what
re-entered.
happened. Yeah, I think Leclerc was like, "Wow, there's another car here. I didn't realize."
Yeah.
And I think his eyesight got totally like moved. It was completely confused.
So the gap now no difference. It's still about 5 seconds between Hamilton and Verstappen.
And I think this is Leclerc again. Oh wait, no.
Oh no, he definitely sees him. Oh, yeah, what?
Yeah, but he did what? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this lockup was just was tough. You can see how burned, how destroyed the tire is right
Oh
there.
my.
So we're gonna see the gap here. Still Hamilton, Verstappen. The gap's around 4 to 5 seconds. And Perez radio.
All right, so now here comes the strategy, right?
Yeah, Checo needs to slow down the whole race
Exactly.
type deal.
Exactly. Yes. This
Or
is where Red
he
Bull.
just gets in the way of Hamilton and, you
Oh,
know.
this is where Red Bull's going to do the Hamilton sandwich, where they can play, where they can be first and third, which is exactly where they're at.
We'll see if they're actually close enough though, because the problem is Verstappen is sort of stuck behind Sainz, which is not necessarily where
Now
you
he's
really
going to pass
want to
Sainz
be.
here in a second.
Hamilton has all this clean air in front of him, so he's actually able to push with no turbulence or anything like that. Verstappen still, and then here's going to be Leclerc into the pits here.
Well, but Sainz is going to pit here in a second too.
It's not the greatest pit stop in the world, but it's not bad. Yeah, it's not good.
Not good.
3.4 seconds.
Yeah, I would think that Sainz comes in here because you got plenty of gap between Hamilton
Yeah, I
and
mean
Perez.
he's also on the soft tire, so it's not like
Hmm.
he's going to be able to. Here's DRS for Max on signs as well. Here's the line from Mercedes. And then here Max still actually doesn't have DRS on signs. I think he went off the track. He made a mistake
Yeah.
right there on a few of the last on the last corner into the track actually. Right here.
Did he lock up?
No, he went into
Curb.
the
He just got a
onto
curb.
the curb.
Yeah. There's the DRS. Max got to get. Sainz has got to get
Yeah,
out of the way
signs
here.
is holding him up here. So this is actually a huge advantage to Mercedes because the gap is around 7 to 8 seconds
Hmm.
as well. And he's just kind of losing time here behind Sainz.
Wow. Ferrari won't pit. God, that's so annoying.
I'm pretty sure. Oh no, Sainz is on actually. Sainz is actually on soft, so never mind. That does make sense. Should be pitting soon, but he's gonna have DRS here. I'm assuming he's still under a second.
Yeah. Sainz still refusing to pit. And just costing Verstappen and Red Bull lots of time.
Yeah, I mean, not much you can do though. I mean, who cares if you're Ferrari? It doesn't really impact you. You're racing, so. And then here, Max, I'm assuming is going to make the pass here, and he does.
Yep, and he gets him. Except now the gap between Hamilton and Perez is about 5 seconds. Verstappen has to make up 8.
And here is actually Sainz thinking about going into it again because he has DRS when they're just swapping back and forth here.
Nope, and Verstappen is clear.
And Max is going to be able to keep going. Yep. That's probably how the FIA wanted the move to work on Lewis. So.
Yeah, this is a similar one, except it just doesn't have the speed, right? So Perez is going to have to hold up for Hamilton here. 21 laps on those soft tires for Perez at the moment.
Yeah, it's going to
Problem
be
is,
pretty interesting what he's going to be able to do. I
well, the
because
problem is
I actually think Lewis is just like it's not even going to be a like you're holding up Lewis thing. It's just Lewis is going to pass you on a straightaway
it
type
it
deal.
could it could be it could be. The problem is if Lewis does pass, he's gone.
Yeah, it's a Ricardo pit there, 2.4 seconds. As we said, if you start on pole, you typically have first and you don't lose. So if you are on second and you take first out of the first corner, you most likely will win the race.
Yeah. Yeah, it's effectively like stealing pole position, right? As you now have a 10
And
second
now
gap.
Hamilton's 1.5 seconds. And then Checo here is going to try to hold up Lewis. And I think he's going to get him here, DRS on the next straightaways. I don't think he's going to have it on the other one, but I think he's going to have it on the back straightaway and pretty easily pass him because the gap is only down a half a second. So I don't think it's going to be necessarily much of a fight per se.
Let's see how much of a fight Perez can put up, actually. Oh, nice move by Perez to weave that one
Decent from
back.
Perez. He takes the inside, and then Checo, and then Lewis is going to take the speed and then pass him there on the outside. And then Perez is going to go again on the inside. And then Perez actually is able to take the lead here
Oh,
off of
beautiful
Lewis with
racing.
the DRS. This is pretty good. Good
Beautiful
job by
racing by
Checo.
Perez.
Checo's trying to get his contract for next year or for the next 10 years. Yeah, he's literally just trying to slow him down as much as possible, which is pretty fascinating here. And yeah, this is incredible work you have to say here
This is
by
insane.
Checo. Yeah, this is a lot
He's
better
cut the
than I
gap
thought
in
he was.
half.
This is a lot better than I thought he was going to be. And Checo, to be honest with you, I would say he should just keep doing what he can do here.
Close him
And
out. Slam the door. There you go.
my God, Perez
Do
is
it,
driving out of
Perez.
his fucking mind.
This is insane. The
Uh,
gap is now down to 3.
yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Who cares from Checo's perspective? Is it dangerous driving or not?
No,
Because
who
it's like
cares? This is racing. This is what
this
I hate
isn't.
about Hamilton.
This is for what you can't really.
Every time somebody gets in his way, he complains. This is fantastic racing by Perez. This is exactly what Perez was designed to do, and there's Verstappen.
Oh my
Oh
God,
my gosh,
Checo's
it's
going to
so
go on the
close.
inside, and then he's going to cut inside as well. He's going to be able to see what he can do here. And then Checo, that's all he's going to be able to do.
Oh, so close. If he had just held off for another couple turns, Verstappen would have been right on top. But now Verstappen is DRS off of Perez. And he's going to overtake, and Verstappen's going to go around the outside.
So Verstappen's here about 1 second, 1.3 second here is the
That's
gap. He was able to
insane.
turn in around 8 seconds there. It was a really good job by Checo. And to be honest with you, probably the most exciting racing we've seen all day. And I would probably more than that.
That was insane. The gap was 11 seconds, and now Verstappen is in striking distance.
Yeah, that was. I didn't know Checo had that in him. That was nuts. That was hats off to Checo. I mean, that was beautiful. Hopefully he can. We'll see if Red Bull can actually make that stick, though. We'll see how it actually goes, and see if it actually pays off for Max here. As Lewis, I still think is going to be going off, and he's going to be free here. I actually don't think Checo did anything too crazy, to be completely honest with you. I mean, there is weaving around on the track, but hey, I mean. This is the replays here, and this is
Yeah,
the I think
if
the
Perez had
full.
held on just a little bit more, Verstappen would have been right there. That was crazy.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. That's Red Bull really playing the team game there, and it's pretty awesome to be able to see it actually like work out. So I guess the other idea here is that you basically need that to happen again for Max to ever actually be able to catch Lewis, because I don't think Max is going to be able to catch Lewis here at all, with nothing else in front of him. I think Lewis has a better, just genuine race pace than Max does, so far that we've been able to see.
Yeah, and there's not really any traffic in front per se, as these cars aren't really close to lapping anybody just yet.
Yeah, it's just Lewis is too fast basically in this situation here, with all the space in front of him, be able to just go. Reckon apparently finishes his last pit stop ever in Formula One.
Yeah, there's the massive makeup there. That was almost 7 seconds worth of time, but Verstappen losing about 2 to 3 tenths per lap as we almost approach, as we're getting closer to being halfway through this
Yeah, it's
race.
almost halfway through.
Almost.
Which it will be pretty interesting if they all kind of decide to go on the hards to the end. I'm not sure if you can. We're seeing the other everybody else who had started on hards. They've been able to go. They haven't pitted yet, so it's kind of a test to be able to see of how actually far they can go and what pace they're able to keep up.
Yep. So you got there Alonso, Gasly on hards, and actually the Williams on mediums that are still going there for a little bit. And Botas and Sonoda actually on mediums, but they actually now have just gone into the pits too. I think Mercedes goes to the end, so however long that
Yeah, I
needs to
think
be.
they should be able. I don't know if they should be able to, because that's like 30 to 40 laps. It's pretty close.
Well,
And then here's
they
Sonoda in
pitted
the
red at like
pits.
15, didn't they?
Yes, it was around 15, 14 laps that they pitted.
So they
So
gotta
they're
almost
still
go. They gotta go
they're on
40.
even. They're even on the amount of laps that they have on the tires, Max and Lewis here.
I mean, it's almost like it's a similar distance to last week, but without like having to be a street circuit.
Yeah, it's similar in that sense, yeah. It's yeah, because you also have the splits of yeah, because everybody else that as I said, Gasly and Alonso have already gone 24 laps on their hard tires and they seem to be kind of doing okay.
The gap extending now, however, which is bad news for Red Bull. 2.7 right now, as
Yeah,
Hamilton
as
seems to
kind
be
of
several tenths
expected.
faster.
Yeah, Hamilton just has the better race pace, and that's kind of the been the difference right now. It's also more difficult to Max. Anytime he does get close, there is some turbulence. So
I don't know. What do you do?
yeah, there's nothing you can do. This is kind of those situations where the car in front is just has more raw speed and is just faster. There's other than playing the games that you can kind of play with Perez, kind of trying to slow down Hamilton, etc. It's there's not that much you can actually necessarily do, in that sense. Also, you have to think that even if Max does take the lead, Lewis still has the pace to actually catch him.
Yeah.
So it's that the really it's very difficult to sort of play this. As we've kind of seen, Mercedes has always had the pace, especially on this track. They're going to have the pace that is going to be advantage towards them.
25 laps down. 33. Yes, 33 to go. When do we restart Formula One, by the way? Isn't it in March?
Yeah, it's in like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
There's not that long of a break. They actually have winter testing starting next week.
It'd be
Or in
switching
2 weeks they start
a
they
little
start
bit of a
testing.
body difference for the cars, bigger tires.
Yeah, it's gonna be a massive difference actually for next year. It's gonna be very interesting. Hopefully we actually see all the cars be a lot more uniform and a lot closer together rather than kind of what we see now and today. It's Mercedes. Here Toto is channeling his inner Kevin Horner. Oh, Kimmy. What happened with Kimmy? He hit the
Oh,
wall. Yeah,
he
the
hit the
left
wall.
side of the car is not looking great. I mean,
You
let's
know,
be honest here. He probably doesn't want to finish the race, and he probably just wants to go on the boat.
he could have made this more interesting if he had just parked the car on the track.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, just park it.
What happened here? So this is Kimby here. He's gonna hit the brakes. Whoa. He
Oh,
never actually stopped.
yeah. Oi.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. Actually was a pretty,
Good save.
yeah, it could have been a lot worse. The Alfa Romeo not doing hot on this track. Kimi also lost the rear in qualifying. George Russell is ending off here not on the track.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure what happened there. Russell radio. He's lost drive. So it looks like he can't put the car in drive. So
He's
this is
lost
actually a
drive.
situation where Mazepin, if he would have raced, he maybe actually wouldn't have been last.
Yeah. Is Kimmy actually going, or what did
Yeah,
they?
no, I think Kimi's done.
He like took his glove off. They replaced the wing, but he took his glove off. They're checking
And
something under the car.
George seemingly still
Yeah, seemingly careening
he can't
around.
really drive the car, it seems.
Is he Is he just in
Is he
neutral? Like,
purposely doing that? I can't tell. What the heck? Yeah, and he's still in fifth gear.
he's
He's in
yes.
second, third, and there's nothing. Yeah, there's no
Can he actually
that's
get back to the pits?
it's they're not gonna stop the race for it. He'll just park it off on the side.
And
Well, that's
this,
Kimi Raikkonen's final Formula One race and the final time he's gonna get out of the car.
yeah,
So
indeed. You know, I was almost gonna place a bet whether or not he'd finish the race.
so thank you to Kimi for his services.
And that is it. So I was wrong. Not everybody will finish the race.
Yeah, there yeah, that is true. And then that's probably going to be the race there for George Russell.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be it as the engine gives out.
Here's Hamilton radio saying it's going to be a long way for these tires. Yeah, that is pretty interesting. He can't pit because Bottas is in front of him.
Yeah, but Bottas is on mediums and hasn't pitted yet.
Correct, but you don't care. You keep him out as long as possible.
I see. Like, yeah, you just basically until the
You
tires
do
come
the same
off.
thing that you did the same thing that you do the same thing with Checo, right? It's the same kind of concept where you don't really care about the rest of their race. You just kind of care if they can just slow it. And we are almost halfway through. I can
We
take.
are halfway through. The
I'll be
problem
right
for Red
back
Bull
real
is I don't
quick.
think, unlike last week where they were really fast in sectors 2 and 3, and Mercedes had the advantage in sector 1, there isn't a sector here that Red Bull has really any advantage on, and so you just keep bleeding time as you go around the race course. Verstappen managing to stay within striking distance here, about 4 seconds behind Hamilton, as Hamilton just put in the fastest lap of the race at a 127.4, which is about half a second faster than Verstappen's time uh, there on the last lap.
All right, here's Bottas radio. Bottas is doing one more lap.
Yeah, so yeah, you can't keep him out there forever.
Yeah, Alonso and Gasly are still on the hards. It's pretty interesting
Yeah,
because
so they've gone 30 laps,
yeah, just not done
plus
anything.
qualifying laps. These are tires they used in Q2 to qualify. It would have to be right if they start the race on them, since they haven't pitted.
I no, I mean I don't think you ever.
Yeah,
I don't
well
think
then,
anybody did Q2 on hards.
yeah, but then how do you swap them out? Oh,
Because
because they.
you
Oh,
didn't
oh,
qualify.
wait.
Like you
Because they
didn't
weren't in the top
qualify on the
10. They weren't in the
tire,
top 10. They were in the top
right? So
10.
you can
Yeah.
pick
They
whichever
get a free
one.
change. They get a free change.
Yeah.
Yes.
And here Verstappen still for gap still increasing around 4.2
He's
seconds.
got to keep it under 5. He's got to keep it under 5. If they cycle through pit stops again and he can keep it under 5, then I think they have a shot. Remember, if they do something similar that what they did with Perez, that was 7 seconds worth of time that Perez bought Verstappen. The problem is Verstappen was about 11 seconds back, so weren't able to actually get Verstappen in front. But to your
Here
point, even if
Bottas
Verstappen
pit.
were in front,
I don't know why we had like a 360
whoa,
on that camera there. That was crazy.
that was
2.4
crazy.
seconds. Nice pit stop there for the Mercedes team. I also find it interesting how like the pit exit actually goes underground, like
Yeah,
under the actual
that's the
track, which
Monaco
is kind of
tunnel. That's the
which is
tunnel.
kind of fascinating. Yeah, that's where they decided to put it in. It's kind of interesting. Bottas is going to come out behind Leclerc.
So he's down in ninth. It looks like somebody just got lapped.
Yeah,
Is it the
the
Williams?
bottom part of the everybody's case starting to get lapped. Latifi and Schumacher and the rest are being lapped right now. I think Hamilton's actually already made them, and they're starting to disappear.
Yeah, and so Verstappen should have DRS off of them though.
And so will Lewis.
Yep,
So it
which is
kind of
why the
evens
gap is
out.
increased by about half a second here.
Here's Valtteri trying to play around here with Leclerc. Has DRS on him.
Fun fact:
And then he is
4,700
going.
lights.
And then it looks like Valtteri's going to have to wait one more lap to be able to consider doing it again. I think he has DRS on this or not. No, he does not.
Yeah, Valtteri a little too far away to really help any Mercedes strategy, I think, at the moment. Although with how late that tire change was, he's just going to go to the end. So
Yeah,
that's
100%.
essentially
Valtteri is going to the end.
what Mercedes is playing for right now.
Valtteri maybe being able to get somewhat close. Don't think he's going to be able to get it on this one. Leclerc takes a slightly different line there. It's pretty interesting, actually. And then here's going to have DRS again. I think now he's going to be able to make the move. Valtteri's going to try to go on the inside. Then he decides not to, actually. Leclerc
Back
cuts
out.
it off.
Yeah, it's really like just Hamilton and Verstappen are doing their own race right now, even though Verstappen's about 5 seconds behind and really just can't seem to
There's
catch up.
Hamilton radio. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like ultimately the culmination of all the race and everything in like the 7 or 8 years comes down to like sort of this one race, but ultimately at the end of the day, the Mercedes car is kind of what has always been faster. Their engine has always been faster, and it's what is winning them the race
Yep,
today.
it is. If they were to stop under safety, where are you gonna get a safety car?
Yeah, they're just trying to think of every option and go through everything just in case, but I don't think that's necessarily going to happen right now. Seems like everybody's kind of doing okay. And then Valtteri there, he's going to try to make the move. No, he
Nope.
doesn't actually on
Oh, on the
Leclerc.
outside maybe? No, still can't. Great racing by Charles, actually. Are they gonna? But notice how Mercedes doesn't call this dangerous. No
I'm
dangerous
sure they
driving from
will.
Charles, even though he's doing essentially the same thing that Perez did to Hamilton. Good.
I mean, Charles is still driving the track. He's not purposely slowing down in front of him.
Well, good
There
hard
is a
racing
huge
by the
difference.
Ferrari.
And then Leclerc radio.
the the Ferrari pat on the back. Nicely done. Nicely done. Great. Yes.
And Valtteri going on the inside here. Leclerc. This is a pretty cool view from the helmet cam. And then Leclerc knows that he cannot keep up with him. Or maybe he's going to have DRS here. Maybe be able to make another move as well. Just like that we saw Checo kind of do. And then no, it looks like Valtteri should be kind of clear and off from here.
Yeah, that helmet cam is wild. That helmet cam is just crazy. I actually really like it though.
Yeah, there it is. You can perfectly see those. Really good move. Nice job by Bottas. In his last time in a Mercedes. And it looks like
Somebody is.
just getting out of the way of
Oh,
Verstappen
getting out of the
there.
way.
And Giovinazzi radio, or maybe never mind. Giovinazzi's car is also broken, just like Kimi's.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. There's the safety car.
No,
Has to
they're
be
just
right.
gonna back. No, they're gonna. You can park it right there, and they just back it up and they take it off the track. There should be no safety car. I don't think there should be one.
Well, if he gets out of the car, you can't. This has to be a safety car.
Yeah, it's probably not the greatest place to park the car.
right at the exit of the turn.
If anybody actually loses the car there, it's probably not the greatest
They're gonna hit
place.
a stationary target.
Well, unfortunately for Alpha here, they
Yeah, not the
car doesn't finish the
greatest
race.
race for
Both
Alpha.
cars, and there will be a virtual safety car
There it
actually.
is, the VSC. But yeah, you gotta get the car off.
Yeah, they should be able to push it.
Mercedes staying out. It was like last
Leclerc
week where
goes
they
into the
they,
pit.
they brought they pitted and then the red came out.
Yeah. Don't want to make that same mistake twice. Here, the Red Bull, I think, is going to be coming in here or getting ready.
Which one? Is this the
Verstappen.
Verstappen? Box confirmed for Verstappen. All right.
Decent pit stop. Not too bad.
New tires
2.6,
here,
not the
new
greatest,
hards.
but could be worse.
Yep.
Oh, just squealed the tires there. I couldn't see who that was. That was pretty
Was it
funny. I think
Alpha?
that was actually Schumacher in front of Latifi. And then Checo also coming to the pits. Makes sense. Here's Mercedes radio.
Interesting.
Here's Toto saying, don't do a safety car. Which, what? Which is kind of ridiculous to say that.
I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to, like, you should never be able to influence the safety of
Right,
a
right.
track or like drivers or stuff. I think that's the race directors need to make sure that everything's safe and like actually okay. The sport is not something you want to mess around with when it comes out with that.
Oh, you're right. They're wheeling it off.
Yeah, they're just gonna, yeah, exactly. He parked it in a spot where you need a safety car, but you didn't need like a crane or anything.
Ah,
And
you
the
don't need the
virtual safety
crane.
car is
Yeah.
gonna end here. There's Hamilton radio.
There we go. All right, we're back off. I mean, we said Red Bull needs to take a bit of a flyer, right? So
Yeah,
this is
pretty
it.
much. This is kind of their
Roll the dice.
the Italians' last move in Formula One may have been the move that gives Max the advantage. Well, I don't want to say last move. I think Giovinazzi will be back in Formula One. He's not like a bad driver at all, to be completely frank and honest with you. He had a to be honest with you, the car's not that great.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, look at Kimi. It's not like it's the greatest car in the world, but I mean,
Now you look at the tire age. You say Hamilton's
yeah. Now
tires
this
have,
is the tire fight. Now it's Max. Can Max catch Hamilton?
yep, have 20 plus laps on them. They're gonna have to
Which
go another 20, and the gap is 17 seconds.
yeah, Hamilton can't pit anymore.
Hamilton cannot pit. Max has to make
Hamilton
up a second
radio.
a lap.
Well, now they found a way to make us really be entertained for the last 20 laps. I guess we'll see. This is it.
Yeah,
I mean, this
this
is
is it.
this is pretty interesting to say the least. It is Max
Max
up
is gonna
here
have to
ready to be
just
able to
send it.
push, and let's see if Hamilton can pull it out of his 7 championships and see if he can hang on and use his experience to, to win here. It's pretty great.
126.3. That
Those
is the
tires
fastest lap.
aren't, the thing is, those Mercedes, the tires on Lewis's car are not like young. The thing is, like, he pitted like 20 laps ago.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's gonna have to go. He's already got 20 laps on the tire. He's
Like,
gonna go
it's a
another 20.
lot. It's a lot. Like, when everybody else pitted, I think it was Alonso and Gasly. I think they pitted on the virtual too, but they were out for like 30 something laps, and their lap times were just kind of brutal, to be completely honest with you. They weren't that great. They were sort of just falling to pieces. But we'll see. This is it. Can Max go into the chase? And this is for it. I would say it was pretty interesting. It's kind of cool to see what the other drivers have to say about like the championship. And the comments from Alonso are quite fascinating. Alonso basically saying, like, yes, Mercedes totally deserved to win the constructors because they have the best car, they have the best engine. But he says that Max Verstappen actually deserves the drivers' championship because if you actually look at what he's doing with the vehicle that he has, it is more impressive than kind of what Lewis is doing with his car. And that was as I'm speaking about him, there's Alonso and Gasly going at it. And then Gasly somehow still talking while he's like, oh,
no. There's
that's
no.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's afterwards. There's no way the images and the radio are actually in sync.
It's so hard when they show the replay because you don't know what to expect or what they're going to complain about.
Yeah.
There's Yuki making the move here. That was a nice move there by Yuki. Yuki actually has a ton of experience on this track. When he was younger, and I think it was at the beginning of the year, they did all the practicing and like trial laps here at this race and at this circuit. So he has a lot of actually experience and a lot of comfort with this track. So it's a pretty, not like a home track for Yuki, but like almost like a home F1 track where you like sort of learn the cars. So it's kind of neat. Hamilton radio. He's got 26 laps.
26 laps, another 18, which puts it to 44. He'd have to go 44 on those tires.
Yeah, it's completely up to the tires. It's in Pirelli's hands.
Yeah, it's in Pirelli's hands.
The championship is in Pirelli's
hands.
Well, technically, the last time they were in Pirelli's hands, it was in Bahrain, and then Max's tires blew out. So, technically, they costed Max the championship already.
Oh, boy.
If you want to think about it like that. Because the tire blowout, and I think it was in Bahrain, like had nothing to do. He was in first place and he was completely good going in the straightaway, and the tire exploded, and that was a DNF, right?
Yeah.
But Pirelli has thrown championships for everybody in the past.
They're equal opportunity throwers.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious. How many times Pirelli have lost someone a championship is probably through the roof. He did put on scrub set of tires. Okay, they only used one lap on the actual tire, so it's not like it wasn't actually like used hards. It was a lightly used set of tires.
Which one? The Hamilton ones?
Yes, the Hamilton hards. They only have one lap on them when he put them on.
Yeah, but still, but like it's gone.
No, but sometimes they do more on practice.
Sure.
And it's like, it's like they have 8 laps and it's definitely more.
Yeah. Well, although I don't really, the gap isn't really closing as much. We'd have to see.
No, it's not, because I'm pretty sure it's still in the straight line speed where he's still able to get from the Mercedes. It's still excelling, right? It's still not. It's not necessarily like, yes, you're losing tire and you're going to lose in the corners, but still in the straight line speed, you're going to be able to hold and have the speed going the whole time. So it's kind of actually interesting. It's not that much of. It's not the craziest manage. That was quite the move there by Gasly on Alonso. Those two are.
17 laps.
Alonso and Gasly are going to have a nice father-son conversation after this one. And I think Alonso's going to try to make the move back on him. Yes, he is. Alonso's thinking about it. Gasly cuts it off. Alonso lives to fight another day. He's going to try to get it down on the other part. And also pretty cool, the Alpine livery is a throwback to the Benetton days. I could be totally wrong. I'm not exactly sure. And there's Gasly's family, I think, right? I think that's his
Alpha,
father.
yeah. All right, so Verstappen's got to make 8.5 tenths a lap right now.
Yeah, that's
Eight,
basically that's what Hamilton's
yeah,
pit up. I think Bono was saying.
but he's got to make 8.5 tenths a lap, but he also has to pass,
Yes, exactly.
right? You
Which we
know
know
what?
is
I would
very
not. I would
difficult.
not be like. I would not be upset if this thing came down to a final lap where the two of them are just like going at it and like I don't know, like
Yeah, I mean,
last lap side by side.
I would love to see that,
Yeah,
but he's just got to catch up to make that happen.
yeah.
So he can write his own Hollywood script to it if he can catch him, and Lewis can avoid the Hollywood script if he's able to just keep pumping, because he is able to pump these times still. You can sort of see the tie. Well, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I can see the tire degrading. I'm not going to be that guy.
There's a lot of rubber down on the track right now. There's a lot of rubber, and it's very clear. The lines are very clear, so
Yeah, I mean, if you gave it like 5 more laps, 10 more laps, he definitely catches him. But I think
yeah,
I
yeah,
still
yeah.
think
It's
Hamilton
like right
is
on
going
the
to be able to
edge.
hold on.
The other thing is the advantage may not show up right now. It may show up 7 laps, 8 laps from now, right? And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Verstappen starts making a second a lap, right?
Yeah, and you also have to take into account once Verstappen actually sees him, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, it kicks that thing in your head where you're like, I got this. All right, this Pirelli says the tire does 50 laps.
Does 50 laps. All right, well, there you go.
You also, this is the same set of tires Hammy had to fight Checo too, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, interesting. Here's Valtteri. I think this is fighting with the Lando Norris
Yep.
McLaren in front of him here. Here's Perez radio. Them also saying it's a long way for Hamilton to go. I'm assuming they think that I mean, if Checo's not going to catch him, but it's okay.
No, he's not. Now, curious. You have 14 laps. Your gap is 13 and a half seconds. If you're Mercedes and you don't think you're going to make
Radio.
it, you pit now, you put Hamilton on mediums, and then you flip this the other way. You say, Hamilton, I give
No,
you 14 laps to go get Verstappen on medium tires because they're
no.
faster.
Checo's in front of him. I'm pretty sure.
No, he's not.
No,
He's not.
I don't think you do that.
Checo's 27
I
seconds
think
behind.
that's I don't think you do that. I think that's too risky. I think at this point, this is the best spot they have.
Because they could also, yeah, they could play this the other way around. They could put Hamilton on the chase with new,
Yeah,
fresh.
but then you're like 10 or 15 seconds behind them, and then you have to still bang. It's too many variables. I think you want to, I think what they're thinking here is kind of what they really want to do.
Yeah.
And and this is actually kind of interesting. He is actually running into like 4 cars.
Ah, he is running into 4 cars worth of traffic here, right? A Ferrari, McLaren, and 2 Alpines. Now he's running into Leclerc.
Wait, this is the group of cars. It's Ocon, it's the 2 Alpines,
Yeah, yeah. It's
Ricardo
12,
and
11,
Leclerc.
10, and
Yeah,
9.
it's 10. Yeah. He's lapping then. And we know who Alonso wants to win.
Yeah.
So even though it's blue flag, I don't know if it's going to be the nicest things in the world, but I also think that would be kind of ridiculous. You'd have to just get out of the way. So I hope they do.
Well, Max would have to go through it at some point too, right?
Yeah, Max is gonna have to go through the same thing as well. So
Red Bull might need a miracle.
yeah, they do need a miracle. They pretty much needed a miracle when Hamilton started and took the lead.
Might need a miracle.
They're all being waved blue flags here. There's Oscar who won the F2
Oh yeah.
yesterday. He actually only needed fifth and he went up into first and won it. Or I think he could went end up coming in first and winning it and winning it.
Would you say if Max had not DNF'd in one race, he would have it effectively?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And if he would have backed out of Silverstone, he would have won.
Yeah. Oh, he's already passed Leclerc.
Has one Ferrari.
There goes Ricardo.
Yeah, he should, I mean, should be able to get out of his way pretty easily and quickly here. Yeah, Bottas has been on Norris here, but he's not actually been able to make the pass.
Driver of the day, Kimmy.
Yes, I love it. I
That's
absolutely love
great.
it. I love all you F1 trolls or everybody out there. Great job giving it to Kimmy. So then we can get the interview because everybody just wants the interview. Driver of the day with Kimmy.
He's gonna have to do the
It's the
interview
first. It's the
off the
first.
out of the
It's
car.
the last thing that he wants to do is an interview. So I think that's what his last thing. I don't know, but something says on his dash that he has 8 laps. I don't know what the 8 laps is supposed to be. There he makes the pass there on I think
There's definitely
Alonso or
11.
Ocon. Yeah, there's definitely 10 laps to go, and Verstappen is definitely not going to be able to catch him.
Nope.
And everybody else, yeah, there's still the gap. The only really exciting battle we have here is Bottas and Norris. Other than that, it's about sort of it. Bottas is still not able to make that pass or time to make that stick. The Dutch fans absolutely stressing out. And that's pretty cool. I didn't know that was an actual walkable bridge over the
Oh
Yas
yeah.
Marina circuit
Yeah,
there.
it
That was
is.
very neat.
That's the hotel bridge.
There's Hamilton radio. Yep, even Horner knows.
Yeah, even Horner resigning to the fact that they need a
Yeah, I mean
miracle.
it's true. Yeah, I mean he knows it too, so he's not crazy. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying before. Like the cars is genuinely faster. It's not like there's only so much you can really do.
Yeah.
And you can even see like the car is literally faster than the Red Bull on 30 lap older tires. Like it's just it's actually that fast.
It's as fast. It is just as fast, yeah.
It's Hamilton again. Norris puncture.
Interesting. He had a puncture. Huh. Those tires don't look terrible, actually.
Tires look completely fine to be completely honest with you. The gap is maintaining at 11 seconds. Hamilton radio.
11.2. Where
And this is still the pack of four cars, and they actually never repaired the little advertising board where Kimmy hit.
Kimmy
It's
hit?
just kind of funny. Here's Ocon and Norris battling. Nice there. Nice move. Nice pass. Button pressing passing.
Button pressing passing. Hamilton's gonna, or rather Verstappen would need some of that. A lot of it. He has managed to bring the gap down to 10.8, but still a bit too far. Verstappen still has to clear four cars. Yeah.
Yeah, Verstappen has even more to get through here, so it's not necessarily. He's coming up onto the traffic here. Not the greatest place to have the traffic in front of you, as the penultimate corner is not the most comfortable corner in the world.
Yeah, actually, he's lost time on that last lap.
Oh, it was Baku. That's where it was. The tire. That's what it was. It was
Oh,
Baku.
oh
Baku.
yeah, 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 yeah. Where they actually both of them didn't score points in Baku. Neither of them
Correct.
scored points in Baku.
That's where he left the brakes on. And then here is where Max is still gonna have to get through all this traffic. He's got Norris, the two Alpines as well in front of him.
Yeah, he would have wanted a
And
DRS on that straight away, but isn't going to get it.
was a good job there by Lando. Unfortunately, yeah, he's kind of in the back, but Max is able to get past Ricardo on the blue flag. And unless something absolutely miraculously happens,
Or
Lewis
somebody
Hamilton
hits
will
a
most
wall.
likely Lewis Hamilton will most likely win the Formula One championship, driver championship, and Mercedes will win the constructors. Well, the Mercedes constructor one was pretty.
Yeah,
We all knew
that
that
one
one
was
was going to happen.
pretty out.
Oh, there's a massive Sector 3 crash here, and it looks
Wait,
like
oh
this
my
will
goodness!
actually bring out a red flag because
That has to bring out the red.
that's
Frank!
exactly where Kimi crashed as well, and that is going to be the Williams as Latifi.
Oh, here we go.
Holy Jesus. If this is a standing start, get a cup of coffee.
Oh my goodness. This will compress the entire race. Frank, and now you have the tire difference. Oh, as if they couldn't have any more drama. Oh, there's no way he gets that car off the track, dude. Oh
Oh
my.
my
Well,
God.
thankfully
Red
Latifi's
flag it.
okay.
Red flag it. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, he's okay. Max pitting for the softs.
Because they think it's going to be a red?
Wow, that was just a really long bleep from Hamilton's radio. That was maybe 6 curse words length of bleep.
Wow.
Wait, I'm confused.
So you can't overtake, but you can. Can't you, like, close the gap?
Wait, how are they still driving?
They're just avoiding the. Oh, geez, what the hell?
Yeah, because the brakes were on fire.
Oh, the brakes were on fire.
What happens? Okay. Oh, they made love.
Did they?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh wait, no, yeah, this isn't the corner.
This is pretty good wheel-to-wheel racing, though.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh
Ooh.
my God. Jeez.
He goes off, then comes back,
Yeah, yeah, yep.
and then he loses it.
Yep, he goes off of the track, so he has no traction on the actual tires, and then the second he puts the power down, boom! Ow, that looked way worse than. So the difference between that one is that he actually hits the steel barrier, not not the
The
Tech
tire.
Pro where Kimmy hit,
The tire
where it
barrier,
looked
yep.
like way nicer. My friend goes, "Look, 2 people racing for last place." I gotta pee.
Is he right behind? Yes, he will be. That's
He will
the
be.
thing. This isn't a virtual safety car where you just keep your positions. You're actually going to bunch up and go. So, oh my. Frank, you got to get your coffee.
So the problem is here, right? Is that the race could end.
The
Like
race could.
they go 3 more laps and Lewis is
Yeah,
champion.
but at some point you'd have to read it, right?
I guess so. I thought it was ridiculous that they still haven't stopped the race. Personally, I I don't know. Like, dude, there's literally a tractor
There is a tractor on the
on.
on the
This
track.
is like the worst thing that you could have.
Oh.
I'm still really confused how it's not a red flag. This is like one of the. It's crazy to
Well,
me.
actually, if you're Red Bull, I don't know if you want a red flag because that would give Lewis a free pit stop. What you want is like 2 laps left in the race to just
Oh, I see
restart,
what you mean.
right? So there's 3 laps to go. You basically want this thing to restart on the next go.
There's Checo coming in. Checo's car is done.
What?
Lapped cars.
Ah. Okay, the lapped cars cannot
Uh,
overtake. All right, so that's huge.
yeah. So Lewis wins.
Lewis wins.
Wait, that's kind of. Wait, huh? Wait, so why did Max ever pit?
It wouldn't have mattered. He didn't actually gain or lose any. He was still behind them.
Wait, what? Wait, but why? No, but if he didn't pit, then he would have just been behind Hamilton, right?
Mm, I don't think so because the
He
other
was in
cars didn't.
second.
Yeah, but he was behind like 4 cars.
Oh, he was still behind
He
the
was still
lapped
behind all the lapped
cars.
cars. Yeah.
Oh, that's dumb. I really? That's a thing? Okay, I didn't know. I surprised. I don't. So I guess this is a question here. What if Norris fights Hamilton, right? Like, what if they all like
Well,
Hamilton still has to fend off, right?
Hamilton
So there
controls
could
the
be a
restart,
thing.
so he can start essentially when he wants. Like if he fights him in what, they'd have to crash. Like,
Yeah, it's fair. Oh no, he can't fight him because he's blue flagged actually.
oh,
Oh,
this
wait,
is a mess. This is a mess.
so now they are doing this.
Now they are doing it.
Wow, so what the
Oh, this is a mess.
what the
Wait,
heck
so
is
now they
going
can
on,
restart.
dude? The FIA is like really not that good at their job. I'll be completely honest with you.
Oh,
No
and
way.
Max is gonna go right up against
No
Lewis. I
way.
love it. I love it.
And he's just dogging him right now,
Yes,
right
he
next to
should.
him.
He should. He absolutely should. There we go. And we're off for one lap for the championship. Frank, this is exactly what we wanted.
He's on the softer tires. Here we have Lewis Hamilton in the lead, and this is the straightaway. He should have DRS on him as well.
Yes, he should.
Or
It's the
no,
final
there's
lap.
no DRS. There is no DRS enabled actually. I'm terrified.
Oh my goodness, is he gonna make it?
He's going to dive on the inside. Max Verstappen's going to go in, and Lewis
I haven't
Hamilton's
seen
back
it
out
yet.
of it.
Oh!
And Max is going to take the lead.
Oh, Max on the
is going to be
softs!
able to keep going. Lewis is going to be able to have him be able to maybe get him on this lap. Max has to be able to weave and hold this off. He's weaving all he gives no shits about the FIA anymore. He's going to weave all he can on this point, and he's going to go in all the way. He's going to take the inside line. Lewis Hamilton takes the outside line. Lewis still is going to be able to carry all the speed and maybe get him on this straightaway.
It's going to be a
FIA
photo
is complaining
finish
with Mercedes, but nobody cares it well. Lewis Hamilton's going to be able to go on the move on the outside. He's going to go super close to Max, and they're almost about to touch it. And Max is going to be able to take the inside. He's going to be able to hold it off, and then he's going to be able to keep going through. Lewis is going to try to make the move, but he's going to be almost too far back behind
too much.
him.
The tires, he can't hold.
It's going to be 0.7 seconds in front of him.
Verstappen is launched.
Basically into the end of the championship, and then Max Verstappen's going to be able to turn, make the last corner. We're going to go into the penultimate corner. None of them hit the same thing. Remember, there's fire retardant there, and then Max Verstappen is going to go into the last turn, and Max Verstappen wins the 2021.
Oh, exactly like we called it.
This is unbelievable.
Oh, on the final lap.
Oh my God.
Oh, I called it. I called it on the final lap.
And that is it. Max Verstappen wins the championship. Everybody, if you're a Red Bull fan, go buy Ocon and buy the Haas all you want. I mean, Nicholas Latifi, buy him all you can because he won it. That's it. It's over.
Unbelievable! Didn't I say like it's gonna like at the last lap if these two are together, what's gonna happen dude. Here? Oh, incredible! And Mercedes over there crying in the corner. Toto's like, this isn't right, Michael. Just race the damn thing. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
You couldn't pick a better ending. It had to be. Drive to Survive is going to have a field day over this one.
I mean, you got to say that the FIA did it for the ratings. Because I don't know if that was the right thing to necessarily do. Like, you changed the. I mean, let's be honest about it. We were talking that it was kind of ridiculous that they didn't unlap. That's fine.
It was. That they didn't unlap.
But then
them.
You can't. Like, think how ridiculous it is to change the decision. Like, that is kind of nuts. Like, I know we're excited because Red Bull wins or whatever, but you have to think like kind of.
Oh, I agree, but it's part of the craziness, right? Like, at this point, what do you expect? Like.
Wow.
Incredible. Red Bull has done it. Wow. Put him on the softs.
That's his dad, too, that never was able to win.
Yeah, they had to throw a flyer at it, essentially, right?
That was the
Oh my!
craziest thing I've
Can't
ever
wait for
seen in
the
my
interview
life.
afterwards.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow.
Oh my!
Oh my god. Here's Verstappen radio again. I uh, Oh my god. I'm gonna leave the pictures up as much as you can, but I kind of just need to take this all in myself.
Wow! We did ask at the beginning of the broadcast, what happens if you get these two together on the final lap?
Yeah,
Do
Max
they
is
hit
always
each
gonna do
other?
it.
Does
No,
it
because
like
no, because it's advantage Max, right?
yeah,
Because if Lewis does what he if he goes in and hits him and he takes himself out of the race, Max wins, right?
yeah.
So it's very wow. I no comments.
The end of the Mercedes era, especially with the driver
That
swap
was
too. I think
crazy.
crazy, crazy,
The
crazy.
embrace between his father and Max there. Well, from all of us here, I would say at Real Life Sports and for everybody that is still watching in Discord, this was our first Formula One season. And I would say thank you very much to all of you that have tuned in throughout the entire season. We will be back 100% for the next season. We will have the pictures and we'll leave the pictures up here in Discord. But from all of us here at Real Life, from Ritz and from myself, this was probably one of the most amazing 2021 or 2020 Formula One seasons ever.
Fantastic. All right, thanks everybody. Max Verstappen, world champion 2021. Take care, everyone.